Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians obviously responded on Twitter based on our president's tweets concerning his response to happenings in the Southeast. Now, many have interpreted this tweet in different ways, and some have accused the president of being mum on issues concerning the Boko Haram insurgency, banditry, and kidnappings. Others are saying, finally, our president has spoken in strong terms and is obviously putting the cap as a military man to go after those who are causing problems and killing people in the Southeast. What are your general thoughts on this? Because there are two sides of the divide. Some are saying that when it comes to IPOB, he raises his voice and we see his speeches and he's putting his foot down. When it comes to issues of Boko Haram and other areas, we see how he takes it with kids' gloves. Others are saying, no. We've been asking for him to speak. He's now speaking. What are your thoughts? You can call us on 0. Let me get the numbers for you. Okay, I don't have the numbers right now, but I'll call, once I have the numbers, I'll call them off for you. So let me hear your thoughts on this, because these have trended in the last 24, 48 hours. And what are your thoughts? And I mean, I know that they have also been, we tried to dig up some tweets, especially because the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has also accused Twitter of double standards based on their response of deleting the president's speech, the president's tweet. Now, so what we did was try to see if we can find other comments of our president on both areas. So I'd like Mariam to read the president's tweet concerning Boko Haram and the bandits. And I'd like you to also read IPOB's tweet, because according to the Minister of Information, when it comes to IPOB sending harmful or inciting tweets, Twitter is not deleting their own tweets. But when it comes to the presidency, they are deleting. So I would then like Nigerians to hear the various angles. And also, remember, Governor Wike recently also made some serious, strong pronouncements, which anybody who hears it will say, oh my goodness, is that not too strong a term to use? But if in view of what is going on, you can understand why he's coming. But why are Nigerians then confused about what the presidency is saying?
It's been posted on Twitter, not by him, but by people.
Who attended?
People who heard it posted it on Twitter.
And it's still there. Okay. So let me come to Mariam. What?
So, of course, first of all, I understand these are, as we said, scary times and also quite sensitive. Everybody, for some reason, feels that anything that is said against me. Yes. We're fighting each other. But I think that really we should remember who we're fighting. We're fighting bandits, we're fighting kidnappers, abductors, we're fighting criminals, we're fighting murderers and assassins.
Rapists.
Those are our enemies, whoever that they are. Anyone who carries out these criminal acts are our enemies. We're not each other's enemies. It's not about where we're from. It's not about what religion that we practice. It's about us against the criminals, and that's what we should stand up for. So, you know, just to balance the conversation, when people were saying the president does not speak out or tweet strongly, in strong terms, when it has to do with banditry, we're able to dig up some tweets to just remind us, because we know with time we get to forget. Let's just remind us, and then let's see if we can have another more balanced conversation going forward. So we have one in April of the 23rd of April 2021. It says, the president, these criminals should stop pushing their luck too far by believing that the government lacks the capacity to crush them. This is Buhari on banditry, April 23rd, 2023. Then also, he made this tweet.
Should I help you read it?
Okay. Yes, could you help me?
He said, before departing Castina for Abuja, I addressed troops of the anti-banditry operation, Hadarin Daji. I charged them to ensure that no bandit is spared. All bandits must be pursued and eliminated. Nigeria deserves peace and security, and we will not relent until this is achieved. That's our president speaking against banditry and those who are causing mayhem in the northeastern part. Yes.
Yes. So let me take the one more.
One more. Go ahead.
Yes, but this was on the newspaper just reporting the tweet where the president says one thing that got to the press, which I read myself, was that anyone with AK-47 will be shot. This is someone reporting on one of the tweets the president made. This is because AK-47 is supposed to be registered and only given security. I'm sure we remember that where it says anybody with an AK-47 found with an AK-47 should be shot at sight. And this was in response to, I think it were armed herdsmen that they said were carrying around AK-47.
Now, before I come to you, BC, so now with all this, so our president, based on what we've said so far, our president has spoken firmly against these bandits and kidnappers, and he has spoken firmly against those the killings that are happening in the southeast. Now, Alhaji Muhammad has said that Twitter is playing double standard because you delete our president's speech, but you're not deleting tweets from IPOB. And I'd like BC to read one of the tweets from IPOB. Then let's see if if the points Alhaji was making made sense.
Yeah.
Let me hear.
So this tweet was on the 2nd of June, 2021. Yes. And he said, it's not for the living to respond to the dead. That's by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But given the lack of reasoning prevalent in the zoo, Nigeria, I wish to assure at Garba Shehu, the jihadi midgets, at El Rufai, and that Fulani lapdog, Femi Adesina, that any army they send to Biafra land will die there. None will return alive. This is the one we have from Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, before you continue, I just wanted to say something. I wanted to put everything in perspective because our enemy is not only the bandits. Our enemy is the Western world. Because I remember before Jonathan conceded.
Yes.
Buhari. They had been predicting, there's going to be war.
Obama.
There's going to be war in Nigeria. Can it come February?
Obama said it very specifically that will not remain a nation after that 2015.
That time.
That was the last
That
threat.
was 2015.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, in his wisdom, when he saw, because normally Nigerians will not give up.
They don't concede.
They don't concede.
Yeah.
The man, and if you read Okonjo-Iweala's book, she says in her book that he didn't even, everyone was arguing, don't give up. He said he just left the room. Nobody knew that he had gone to go and call
Make that call to
Buhari that congratulations.
Yeah.
So he quelled any thoughts in our minds of war.
Right.
Now, slowly but surely, I can see us going back to that same.
Wait, see, the international people who are paying us,
exactly,
who are directing the tone of this nation.
And we only pay them for Nigerians to fall apart.
Yes.
Why? Because all our resources, I've said that this thing that they used to make fun, you will find it here. Gold, diamonds, everything.
Let me let you make a final because I have to go on a break.
Yes, so I just feel that we need to be alert. Nigeria is on the brink as we speak right now, and a lot of people are not happy that we are still together for their benefits. You've highlighted some of that. We've had issues where people are flying in jets from outside the country to mine our gold in Zamfara, day in, day out, and the federal government cannot even stop them. So there are international bodies that are not happy that we are together. We, the owners of the country, need to ask ourselves, what are we fighting for? Are we fighting ourselves or we are fighting the criminal elements? And, you know, we've been saying we want the president to speak. We want the president to speak. The president has spoken. You are now saying, why would they speak on this issue and not on that issue? While I would love the president to speak on everything, we don't need speaking. We need action.
Exactly.
Action is what we need.
Are you saying too slow?
Exactly, it's very slow. Are you saying shoot at sight anyone with AK-47? I've not heard the shoot at sight. Why have they not shot at sight? So we need the president to stand up and do what he knows how to do. What he mentioned is exactly the same thing my father-in-law always says. He's a lawyer. He was in the war. He experienced the war, and he tells me, BC, you people do not know what you are doing. If you see war, you will not understand this. It's from somebody who has experienced it. But we need action.
Right. And I have to go on a break. I have to go on a break.
We'll come back.
When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us, Brad.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on the conversation of the president's tweet, and I will be bringing our guest. We have with us the chief lecturer, Nigeria Institute of Journalism, with us, Dr. Jide Johnson. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning, Muraya, and good morning.
Good to have you on the show. Now, before you came on, we're talking about the president's tweets, the interpretation, and the federal government's declaration that Twitter was playing double standards. Now, in your view, how best could the president have communicated and responded to the issues going on, especially because Nigerians were demanding that he spoke to us? How best could he have gone about this?
Well, the challenge with what the president did has to do with the use of language. And the use of language shapes the narrative. And whoever controls the narrative shapes the culture. Now, Twitter banned the former president of the United States of America. Facebook banned because of the rhetorics, because of the choice of word and the use of language used by the former president of the United States of America. And then we all know the policies of this social media network, even though some of us tends to disagree with them on some certain control mechanism they exert on public discourse and public forum. As far as I am concerned, the president has the right to talk to Nigerians. However, there's much responsibility to that office. That office must speak to Nigerians in one voice, and regardless of whichever section it's coming from. And you know, I started with talking about language. If you look at the language, the tone that is used for banditry, actually, using the word banditry itself is a wrong narrative. Those guys are terrorists. They are terrorists. There's no other word for us to use to describe those that are engaged in banditry, because they collect ransom, they terrorize people on the road, they make life unbearable. But we have used the word banditry to cover up on that, and using that word itself created a narrative which people are looking at it. Now, if you look at the tweet of the president concerning banditry, it is conciliatory, it is advisory, and it's admonition. The president is always admonishing, we will deal with you, we will do this, we will do that. But if you look at the tone and the language of the presidency for IPOB, it is adversarial, it is conflictual, and it is confrontational. So it has to do with the choice of language. And like one of the ladies said in the studio, we need beyond words, we need actions. The actions of the president dealing with insecurity, whether it comes from separatist groups, or it comes from banditry, or it comes from terrorists, or it comes from Boko Haram insurgents, we call them insurgents. You could see the choice of words that we use to describe.
Dr. Johnson, let me come to what Alhaji Mohammed said, that Twitter is playing double standard, because we read a tweet earlier where IPOB was using strong language.
I can read it for him.
We read a tweet where even the presidency used strong language at some point for other regions. So do you think, or do you agree with Alhaji that maybe Twitter is using a different approach for the presidency and other proscribed groups?
If you follow the 2020 election in the United States of America, you discover that there are other people in other political camps that used strong language, just like Donald Trump. But the office of the president is above board. You can't equate the office of the president of Nigeria with that of IPOB. Just like the office of the president of the United States of America, to whom much is given, much is expected. I agree, the president should be frustrated, should be concerned with the spate of insecurity in the Southeast, not only in the Southeast, in the Southwest, not only in the Southwest, in the South-South, and in the Northeast, and in the North-Central. I agree. But to a large extent, to whom much is given, we can't equate the office of the president with that of IPOB. As far as Nigerian constitution is concerned, as far as the Nigerian establishment is concerned, the instrumentality of the law and our constitution does not even recognize any group like IPOB. You are talking about the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That presidency is beyond board, is above board, should be above board. Such statement should not be coming from the presidency, as far as I'm concerned.
Let me get a few more questions before you run off. Let me get a few more questions.
So, concerning Twitter and the rhetoric, and I like the point you made where the office of the presidency is definitely different from any other Twitter handle or group or IPOB. But also we're talking about insightful comments. So there are comments that are coming out of Nigeria that seem to incite Nigerians against each other.
Yes.
Shouldn't that take precedence over the office that is coming from? So if the office of the president is trying to put a stop on that, shouldn't that be more important than the fact that his office should, it's almost like saying because this is the office of the president, be careful not to hurt some people, even though what they are asking for or what they are tweeting or what they are doing is inciting the polity. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And there was a tweet that was deleted last week. I can't remember who it was. There was a tweet, and it wasn't the president. It was a minister or somebody. I can't remember. Somebody was deleted last week. His tweet was deleted.
I can't remember either.
I can't remember.
Okay, so let me let you respond to that, Dr. Johnson.
Well, I agree. I share your sentiment. But the office of the president is larger than joining issues with groups. We have security agencies. We have head of security agencies. We have various institutions to deal with that. And don't forget that there was no response from the president with respect to the Minister of Communication concerning insightful statements that he made in the past. In fact, they were justifying that he has grown up. You see, we have a responsibility as journalists, one, practitioners, and two, as teachers, because without journalism, there won't be this nation. It took journalism to fight for the independence of this nation. Now, it took journalism for us to experience the democracy we are experiencing now. And if we don't hold government accountable, we must hold them accountable. It's very, very important. This same presidency made an excuse for Pantami. Pantami is still the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. This same presidency will not come out any statement with people. I am not in support of insightful comment. What we are saying is that the president should speak with one consistent, decisive voice, dealing with banditry, dealing with terrorism, dealing with insurgency, dealing with separatist group, and anyone that is trying to terrorize or bring to an end peace and tranquility that exists in this nation. And that's our responsibility. And that's the constitutional responsibility that's given to us.
Right.
Because otherwise, if we don't do what we are supposed to do, we will say there was a country.
God forbid, though. I like.
Thank you very much.
I like where you have landed. He needs to speak with one voice for everybody, holistically. I like that. Now, let me ask you, what sort of pressure do you think we can begin to put on the president to proscribe these terrorist groups as a terrorist group? That, I mean, the banditry, whatever name they hide under, whether it's Boko Haram, whether it's banditry, whether it's herdsmen, what sort of pressure should we put on the government? How do we go about it so that they proscribe them? Let's know what we're dealing with.
If you have a society that rewards criminality, you get this type of result you are getting. Now, you see, the former Zamfara governor negotiated with bandits. The Katsina governor, the home state of the president, negotiated with bandits. The Niger state governor negotiated with bandits. Now, America, just some few weeks back, the colonial pipeline was hacked by Russian hackers, and they paid ransom to those hackers. You know what they have done? They have gone ahead to hack their meat supply. Any government that rewards criminality, we encourage criminality. We must deal with criminality decisively, and we must call terrorist group. That is the best way for us to have a nation. Otherwise, we will not have a nation. We will not have a nation. It's very, very important. You and I cannot travel without closing. We cannot even sleep without closing, without opening one eye. We cannot even travel without not locking our windows. Now, the spread of insecurity in the nation is at at a very, very high level. And that's why we must be decisive, we must speak with one voice, and we must not reward criminality.
Right, let me go on a quick break.
Question, Miriam.
Let me go on a quick break, Dr. Johnson. Yeah. I'll be back with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we still have our guest with us, Dr. Johnson, and we'll be taking a few tweets before we take a few calls.
Yeah.
YK,
I want to take this one from Etsy of Lagos. Countries like Congo can never recover from their crisis. They started like Nigeria with media promoting ethnic sentiments and fake news. Now to their full-blown war on terrorism, where Western countries have taken over their minds, assets, and brought in their army to protect their interests, like Libya, like all these countries. And I just wanted to say something. Where the government is failing, apart from, because I agree with our guests saying the conversation coming from the presidency, it seems to be one-sided. He should make it an everybody is a criminal. Yes. Not just, we are coming for you. Everybody, you are coming for everybody. Everybody who is hitting up the polity, go for them. Yeah. That is one. Two, it's the government's responsibility to start to show footage of the Nigerian civil war.
So that the young people can see.
So that the young people can see. Because Nigeria, we are 70% youth under 35. Yes. They have no idea
of what war is.
Of what war is. And until they start, I have, because I'm 60, until they start to show footage, then people will now start to see. People will now go and start to ask. Show this footage and educate your people. History is not taught in our schools. When you will not teach history, this is what will happen.
Yeah.
Because people don't know. So please, for goodness sake.
Let me take this call from Nasir. Nasir, are you there? You have to wrap up.
Yes, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I think the issue you are talking about is, I don't know, this issue of Twitter. You see, the issue is, we are talking about... Hello, can you hear me?
Very clearly, sir.
Also, we are talking about incitement and all those things. You see, when you compare what the IFOP leader is saying and what the president is, they are completely different things. The president is talking about going against criminals, people who are killing Nigerians, killing security agencies. While the IFOP leader is talking of killing the security agencies, which are doing their unlawful duty. So how can you even comparing them and even saying the president, what the president says is wrong? As far as I'm concerned, you can't even compare them. This is an illegal something they are doing, and yet Twitter allows that. If Twitter is concerned about security, let it be for security. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's just about security and peace. That's what we are after. So if anybody can make comments that will incite, will bring killings and so on, why should they be allowed? It doesn't matter the audience. It doesn't matter the personality of the person. As far as I'm concerned, it's clear. There's nothing like all this.
Thank you very much, Nasir. I didn't hear you very clearly, but did you hear?
Security and our peace, and wherever these tweets come from, whoever it is, wherever it comes from, all should be shut down. I think
that's why I didn't agree.
So there's this. Sorry, I think also I would like to ask our guests is there's something that it seems quite very sensitive for people from the southeast. The wording of the tweet itself. Some people felt like you were trying to remind the Southeast of. It felt like the tweet was trying to remind Southeasterns of the pain that they had gone through, and it came across as insensitive. My own is the way forward. How would we advise? Yes, how would we advise the president going forward now? Now, this is how Nigerians feel about this tweet. How should he have worded it? And now going forward, what should he be saying?
He should be apologizing. Yes. I didn't mean it like that. I can answer that one for you. He should be apologizing. I didn't mean it like that. My own concern is to
fight the criminals.
Yes.
Dr. Jones, let me let you have the final word on that. So, how could he have responded better?
Like I said earlier, I think the president, there should be a consistent voice coming from the presidency and the security apparatus that we have in the nation. But that in itself is flawed. There is a particular statement in my local dialect. Someone that has a K-leg and you're asking the person that the load is putting us on his head is slanting. And he said, you are just looking at the load on my head, you are not looking at what is the nature of our security apparatus? How inclusive is it? I'm asking you, I'm throwing it to you. Does it reflect the Nigerian nation? Does he have the voice of Nigerian nation? Does he? You know, we have a responsibility. Section 22 of 1999 Constitution as amended said we are the watchdog of the society and we shall hold government accountable. And that's our responsibility. And if we as journalists hold government accountable, regardless of our biases, regardless of our political lineage, regardless of our race or tribe or ethnicity, then we understand. Now, I ask you the question, what is the inclusion, the inclusiveness of the security? When they are having the national security meeting in Nigeria, are all the ethnic group in Nigeria represented?
No.
How do you get their mind?
Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but you're very correct. Those are the issues. Because people have been warning everybody that there's nepotism, ethnic preference in certain areas. So these are the things that have balled up the polity to the point where we're seeing it right now. So when we say unity, are we saying unity, status quo, maintain status quo, which many people are not happy?
It's not going to work.
Unity, sort down, let us renegotiate, or total secession. There are three, it's not like three different layers.
That
we must discuss and agree.
This government, they have to stop it. That nepotism. That when there was that investigation, everybody was talking about Pantami. The government didn't, they even cited him.
Yes.
He should have been suspended. Let's go and sit down.
Let us investigate.
Let us investigate. You didn't talk.
Yes. Let me take a look at our final call this morning, and I'll let our guests go. Oh, I'm sorry, we lost that call. Doctor, just have to let you go, but thank you very much. We have to wrap up on this. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your thoughts on this, and we'll definitely bring you back.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yes. So let me let you have the final word,
it's a pleasure to be with you.
We'll be speaking with Dr. Johnson, who is a lecturer. Let me just get that very properly. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Anyway, let me come to YK first. No, YK, your final words. Oh, she's busy.
Yeah. I think our being together without having a proper negotiation on how we are going to handle ourselves has failed us. And now it's time for us to have a proper conversation. And I'd like to take you from what Afenifere said in the papers yesterday. I think everybody needs to get that particular, I think it's a Tribune. And he explained exactly how restructuring would work. We now need to come to the table presenting what we expect from this new Nigeria that we're likely going to have, and making sure that everything is, there's a mutual benefit between everybody. So we are coming to the table on our own terms. How it's going to work out for us. That's the only way that this is going to end. We need to start looking into it.
Yeah, so for me, I believe that the beginning of our problem is the greed, corruption of our political elite. And that is what has brought us here. When you steal people's resources, when you steal from the National Treasury and enrich yourselves, and you take away education from the common man, health from the common man, this is what you get. You get displeasure, people who do not have work, you know, they are unemployed, because those who are meant to have protected the future have squandered it. And that's why we have found ourselves. So we need to retrace our steps. And for Nigerians, we need to be careful the sort of people that we put in power. People that will represent us through and through.
I think that the government should stop their nepotistic, what is deemed nepotistic by a lot of Nigerians. That should stop. I think that the president, because he's even speaking late, he should have been speaking since this Boko Haram matter. He's now speaking now, and it has boiled down to what we are seeing now. His silence has been, when you, it's acquiescence. I mean, that is what people are seeing him as. So he has to now start talking. Talk about Boko Haram. Talk about everybody.
And act.
And then kidnapping. Come on. Everywhere. Everywhere.
We have to wrap up on this, but I think my own final words is, for every engagement, for every contract, there's always a time for renewal. There's no contract that you have and it's
forever.
For life. So we are at that brink, as we said, where we need to renegotiate. Let's have a conversation. We're now enlightened. We're now all our eyes don't open. We're educated. We all can all come to the table and have a conversation. And is that renegotiation? We're not saying we want to be divided.
No.
But we are united with with equity. United, where everybody is represented with equity. That's what Nigerians are demanding.
Fairness and justice.
On that note, we come back.
Justice and Pinnacle is our logo now.
Yes, now.
That's going to bring, when we come back, we'll bring in our special guest on My With Me. Stay with us. We'll be right back.